Yo guys, welcome back to a Dokkan video, and this one's going to be a little bit different because I'm literally just going to be ranting about LR Broly because quite frankly, after using him for a bit, I am not very enamored with how he works. Uh, Now, the biggest reason being, he's a extreme class character, like a villain buff, but he links with super class characters. Now, that's pretty standard stuff for Broly, all things considered, but what really drives me up a wall with him is his domain. His domain basically neuters superclass characters just as a whole because it debuffs your allies and then it even gives the extreme class enemies buffs. And if the enemy happens to be on Exploding Rage or the other category, I don't remember which one it is, they get another buff on top of that. And like that wouldn't be so bad if he wasn't debuffing your allies at the same time. Because, like, you could just say, oh, we'll just bring an extreme class character who links with Broly. He's got Saiyan links. That's not an option. Like, who am I bringing to this fight? Turles? Like, who am I bringing to link with Broly? Turles? Hold on. Turles isn't even on this guy's team. Yeah, Turles isn't even on Broly's team. Yeah, because he leaves Transformation Boost, which Turles isn't on. Super Bosses, which Turles isn't on. And then, Full Power, which Turles isn't on. So, yeah. I mean, hold on. I mean, I guess you could run Broly on Turles' team, but like double Turles, I think I'll pass. Uh, but anyway, yeah. So that really leaves like your only option for like a competitive character that would link well with him is like a Goku Black. But the real problem with Broly then comes in, he doesn't have big bad bosses. He's not even like a good link buddy for the like three villain Saiyans that he'd have access to, because he doesn't have big bad bosses. Instead, they decided to give him this terrible Berserker link, which has an HP restriction on it and doesn't even give defense, so it's just a literal worse version of big bad bosses. They could have actually just given him big bad bosses, and that kind of fixes my issues with them. Because, yeah, sure, you might not get Super Saiyan a lot with him if you're running a villain sub, but, like, he's not going to sell for you on a villain sub. And his domain condition is quite frankly horrible on top of that. Like, not only is his domain actively, like, working against you, but the condition is terrible. Because you can only do it from the 5th turn of his first appearance. And because his domain's tied to his active skill, and domains can't overlap or anything, or override, or any of that garbage, if you transform with one Broly, the other Broly is, like, locked in base for the next, like, 5 turns. Which is, not reasonable. And it's, like, dumb. Because you could just let both transform, and then one just doesn't get to activate the domain. I mean, I'd accept that. I wouldn't be, like, upset about that. Because they even added insult to injury by making base Broly have a lot of his value tied to his first like 2 turns. Like, he's got like strong stuff just long enough for you to transform with him, which that would be fine if, again, transform with both Brolys was like reasonable. Transform with one Broly might even be a bit of a task. Forget both, right? But that's like the worst part. Not only does his domain like suck for the kind of teams that you're going to run him on, it actively like prevents you from using the character at his best if you're running his own team. Because base Broly's got a turn-gated additional super, which he's going to need, and turn-gated stats, which he's going to need, because despite the fact that he has guard, he is quite squishy before he gets the chance to attack. And that'd be fine, right, if he had some huge buff if you were low on HP. Besides, like, the Berserker link, I guess. But, no. Transformed, I don't even have any issues with Broly. Transformed, Broly's, like, I want to say almost perfect. I don't have any beef with the way he works while he's transformed. His domain is one thing, but like, bruh, that just reminded me of another issue. Why isn't this guy just legendary start or full power start a turn? Why is this guy Super Saiyan Broly? Do they not understand that they easy a different character with the exact same name that has an almost identical link set literally like a year ago at this point? Alright, sorry about that, guys. The recording crashed, but as I was like saying, why didn't they just like make this guy full power start a turn? He'd be able to link with the physical Broly, and they'd share like 5 to 6 links depending on your HP, and that would be good. It's the same with Blue Gogeta, but like his is not as offensive to me because in base he's fine. He's also pretty squishy in base, but he doesn't have like a design philosophy that actually works against like team building. You can kind of just throw him on whatever team you want and he'll do fine. Like the Gogeta, I don't think I'd change much of anything with how the Gogeta works. I don't know, maybe give him like a defense stack on his 12 key and base if we're just going to keep his base in. Did I say attack stacking? That's what I meant. Either way. Right. But there's no reason that these guys can't just be like full power and blue start a turn because guess what? There's no name competition. They had to make this Broly the one version that he would like clash with. Even if they made him like Wrathful Broly start a turn. Congratulations, the one other Wrathful Broly in the entire game has been power crept for like 4 years, so it's not like hurting anybody. But they chose the one Broly that this guy would like clash names with, and keep in mind, there's a very real possibility that by the end of the celebration, the Super Saiyan Broly free-to-play character Easy A's. No, I'm not saying that guy's gonna be like incredibly good, but it's just like they had to name him the one like name that clashes. And Gogeta also has that issue, but ironically enough, you play like the exact same with the Gogetas, and you kind of just want to float them off the second they're on rotation so they can come back and go blue. Like, you kind of play the Gogetas the exact same, but you can't really do that. You don't really want to do that with Broly because he's stacking a bunch of attack in base, so he can go like full power and just go nuts. Which is why I believe that if they were going to make this guy truly good, they literally just have his full power passive and everything. Like, he's full power start turn. But he has the super attack effects of him in the current base that we have. The attack stacking, like the defensive raise for 4 turns and all that blah blah blah, right? But the catch is, they still give an active skill, but it's like the dimension shattering punch or whatever, where he went like full power and then punched Super Saiyan Gogeta in the movie. Like, that's how he activates the domain, like hit an active skill attack that activates his domain. That'd be fine, right? It wouldn't hurt the other Broly. It would play very well in him still having attack stacking, and he'd be a god start a turn. But in base, he's a mixed bag in base, honestly. On one hand, it's like, he could get you killed realistically because he's just defensive enough to not get one shot by a normal, but he'll take a lot of damage. But on the other hand, if you get to attack with him first, like, nothing can kill him, even at like 55%, right? Like, the difference between his value as like getting attack versus not getting attack is like ridiculous. He probably has like the highest like gap between the two variations. And it's kind of the same with like full power, but I feel is full power's passive the same way it is with the fusion Zamasu, where he gets the defense as the attack is coming, not when the damage kicks in. So he actually gets that 50% extra defense, like while the enemy's like attack animation's happening, and not while he's like taking the attack. Because if he is, then congratulations, he's like unkillable transformed. Oh wow, if only you could actually get transformed with him earlier than turn 5. So dumb. They could have literally just made it a turn 4 activation, like turn 4 from start of battle, and I don't have any issues with that. But they didn't do that. So it's this character that's pretty mediocre at base, honestly. Is reliant on transforming with his active skill, but his active skill clashes with his domain, so only one bullet can transform at a time. I actually despise using this character. Also, his team just flat out sucks. I hate his leader skill a lot. Super Bosses is in a tough spot right now. Now, there's a very high chance that Cell Max is the Part 2 Carnival LR. In fact, I'd almost bet on it. But they could pull a steal one on us. Remember, Super Boo came out after Dokkan Scale for the Part 2. So, I mean, they could pull a silly one on us, and LR Super Janemba is actually coming out or something. I don't see that happening, but it's within Dokkan's possibilities, right? But anyway, so Super Boss is in his mediocre spot. Ugh. The Broly Cheerline Lembo characters, their details came out earlier, and they seem really strong, but they don't link well with Broly. They do get his 200%, and they do have a pretty invaluable role as a support character. But they don't link well with Broly. They have Big Boy Bosses, which is the annoying thing. You give Broly Big Boy Bosses, and I almost completely don't even feel like making this video, but the fact that he doesn't have Big Boy Bosses, it drives me crazy. Because they want you to run this guy with villains when he doesn't link with villains. It's disgusting. But anyway, I feel like I've said what I need to say. Oh yeah, transformed AoE. Bruh. How do you even explain that to someone? I'm genuinely curious. How do you explain to someone that a character who can't use this AoE earlier than turn 5 has an AoE? At that point, just let him stack again or something. I don't know. I mean, before I end this video, I do want to say Broly's good. Despite my complaining, all I really have said is nitpicks. I don't like his team. That much is certain, but it's not like he's only gonna be on his own team. He's a Saiyan character. You could slap him on Physical God Goku's team. He'll do fine, right? Yeah. So, that's my 2 cents on 9th anniversary LR Broly. Again, it's very jarring. If they pull some silliness on us with like that with Beast Gohan in 2.5 weeks or something, I don't know. I'll be very upset. He's gonna have something like not Cold Judgment. He's gonna have something like Patrol or Hero of Justice as a link skill, which basically means he's dead on Saiyan teams. Anyway, if you enjoyed my entire nonsensical ramblings, please consider hitting that sub button, and let me know any other video suggestions you might have. And without further ado, peace, guys. I guess I'm gonna finish Link Living Broly, and then take him to some more events so I can suffer. Peace, guys.